Have you ever watched someone you love get kicked while they were already down? Have you felt that helpless, furious rage when the rich and powerful use their money to crush the little guy? Just because they can? Well, buckle up. Because today, I'm going to tell you how my friends were nearly robbed of their home by a bunch of greedy heirs. And how we made those snakes regret every last second of it. If you've ever dreamed of serving justice to someone who thought they could walk all over you, smash that like button, subscribe, and stick around. Because this isn't just a revenge story. It's a masterclass in karma. 15 years ago, my best friend and her husband were fighting to survive in one of the most expensive cities in the country. They had 5 kids under one crumbling roof. And when I say crumbling, I mean it. The kitchen was barely functional, the drains stank like a medieval sewer, and the wallpaper peeled like sunburned skin. But it was home. Why stay there? Because they were lucky enough to rent it for $400 a week. A steal, even back then. And not because of the place, but because of the woman who owned it. An old, kind-hearted lady. She was absurdly wealthy, owning property after property across town. But she had a soft spot for my friend's family. She promised them, "Save up, and one day, this house is yours. I won't raise the rent. I'll give you time." And she kept her word. For 5 whole years, the rent stayed frozen. My friends scrimped and saved every cent they could. No vacations, no new clothes, no eating out. Just grit and hope. Then, 2 days before they were ready to buy, she passed away. No paperwork. No deal in writing. Just a promise buried with her. Her 4 entitled, greedy adult children. Each of them already richer than sin. Inheriting a mountain of properties. When they first spoke to my friends, they smiled, shook hands, and promised to honor their mother's word. After probate, of course. Probate took months. But my friends were patient. They even started fixing the place up. Stripping wallpaper, repainting, making it feel like a home. Their kids picked out new colors for their rooms. They believed in those promises. Then the hammer dropped. Probate settled. The heirs changed the deal. The price went up by $80,000 overnight. No heads up. No apologies. And they put the house on the open market, with an open house in 7 days. My friends were devastated. They barely had the original amount saved. Getting a bigger loan in time was impossible. And the kicker. Rents had skyrocketed. If they lost the house, they'd be homeless or forced into a tiny, unaffordable place. I was scared for them, but I was also incandescently angry. Those smug, well-fed heirs didn't need the money. Not 1 cent of it. This was pure greed. A power play. And something inside me snapped. If they wanted to play dirty, fine. We'd make that open house a nightmare. I started researching what makes a property undesirable during a sale. And then we got to work. Step 1. Make the house feel cramped. We dragged every piece of furniture away from the walls. Borrowed extra couches and tables. Hung old motorcycle memorabilia everywhere. The place looked cluttered and claustrophobic. Step 2. Attack the senses. My friend boiled cabbage on the stove. The whole house reeked like rotten garbage. We sprayed ammonia at every entrance so it smelled like an army of stray cats had marked their territory. And the final touch. 24 rotten eggs down the drains. Instant sewer smell. Step 3. The neighborhood ambience. We scored a moldy old couch and dumped it in the front yard across the street, with the neighbors' blessing. Then, we called in the troops. Friends with loud beat-up cars did lap after lap around the block during the open house. Revving engines. Thumping bass. The piece de resistance? Our rugby club buddies. Big, rough-looking guys on motorcycles. The neighbor fired up a barbecue, and we offered free food and cheap beer. By noon, it looked like the roughest block party you'd ever seen. The execution. Buyers showed up, and bolted just as quickly. Some stepped inside, wrinkled their noses, and left. One lady never even got out of her car. She took one look at the party next door and peeled off. The one brave buyer who hung around struck up a conversation with one of the partygoers, who helpfully mentioned the nasty drains, the frequent wild parties, and the endless parade of loud neighbors. That buyer was gone 5 minutes later. By the end of the day, my friends were the only offer on the table. Sure, it was a little higher than the original price, but it was far lower than the greedy heirs had hoped for. And thanks to strict anti-gazumping laws, the heirs had no choice. They signed the papers, tried to salvage some dignity, but you could practically hear the blood vessels popping in their smug, entitled heads when a last-minute buyer came in, offering $30,000 more, and it was too late. Karma doesn't always come quick, but when it does, it's delicious. I learned that day that community matters, that even against wealth and power, a tight-knit group of friends and a little cunning can serve justice. And I swear, the next barbecue we threw was one hell of a celebration. If that story gave you chills, smash that like button and tell me in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever witnessed? And don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this, because sometimes, the little guys win.